Over the past, 27 months, we've created 4.5 million private sector jobs. That's more jobs than in the Bush recovery, in the Reagan recovery. There's obviously more that we need to do.
That's Obama Deputy Campaign Manager Stephanie Cutter. You've heard that name recently. She apparently is willing to say anything, no matter how outrageous, no matter how untrue, to sell the Obama recovery. There are indisputable facts, and here are some of them. First of all, I have to get over the idea that the White House is actually trying to draw a comparison between this president and Bill Clinton, between this era and that of the Clinton era. For example, in the 37 months since the Great Depression ended, our economy has generated, under President Obama, we're going to give this away, 2.7 million jobs. 2.7 million jobs in that 37 months. Now, the idea of raising taxes, doing all of the stuff that apparently President Obama wants to do because it's the same kind of deal and it'll have the same kind of result. Here are a few important differences. 2.7 million new jobs created here. That's still 316,000 fewer jobs than when President Obama took office. Now, in the 37 months after the 81-82 recession ended, the Reagan recovery created 9.8 million new jobs. Now, 9.8. Now, I just want to see if the White House can figure this out. To suggest that this president is doing better than Reagan did in 37 months, this is not the eight full years. This is just the 37 months after the recession, by comparison to the 37 months after our recession. Which is greater? Even a special assistant to the president, or whatever her title is, ought to be able to figure that out, even if she hasn't been able to correctly compute a lot of other things. For example, pretending she didn't imply that Governor Romney is a felon repeatedly. Cutter, by the way, isn't the only Democrat distorting history. Cue White House Press Secretary Jay Carney today.
Some of the very leaders in Congress today, Republican leaders in the House, stood before us, I was a reporter then, and declared on the eve of the vote for the Clinton budget, the Bill Clinton budget in 1993, that raised marginal tax rates on wealthier Americans, that it would cause a recession if they passed that bill and signed it into law, that it would cause economic decline, it would cause job loss. I think we can all agree that they were wrong.
Yes, we can. And by the way, I was there too, Jay, and you're exactly right. There were people talking about it's going to cause recession and everything else. But Jay Carney is forgetting a few really relevant contextual considerations and facts. Carney likes to link President Obama's policies with those of Bill Clinton's, because the Clinton administration, well, President Clinton, all he did was create Clinton. Now, whether you like President Clinton or you don't, in his administration, he was either partially responsible for or not at all, depending on how you want to look at it. I consider him partially responsible. 18.7 million new jobs. The unemployment rate at the end of Clinton's second term, by the way, was just about half what it is as President Obama's first term concludes. Back then, it was 4.2%. 4.2%. What in the world is Jay Carney thinking? What job does he think he has? Clinton benefited from his Republican predecessor as well in two very important ways. George H.W. Bush, whatever you think of him, when he broke his campaign promise of no new taxes and raised taxes, and at the same time created the massive reduction in military spending known as the peace dividend following the collapse of the former Soviet Union, the beneficiary was without question President William Jefferson Clinton. In fact, the elder Bush cut defense spending, think about this, 18% straight away with the fall of Marxist-Leninism in the Soviet Union, the peace dividend. And no one wants to talk about, where's the peace dividend now, Jay Carney? President Obama is there anyone with the intellectual integrity in that White House to acknowledge that talking about these two eras as being either similar or the same is absolutely irrational and, frankly, a lie? And there are other factors. No major wars, low oil prices, low crude oil was selling for less than $10 a barrel as late as 1999, for crying out loud. Who wouldn't want to draw attention to that or to any other issue other than this current economy and the Obama record? The Obama economy numbers just aren't pretty, and they are nowhere near as attractive as the Clinton years. 4 consecutive years of trillion-dollar deficits brought to you by not President Clinton, but President Obama. 44 years. I mean, $1 trillion. Give me a break. 42 straight months. 42 months of unemployment above 8% or higher. I mean, what are we talking about? 23 million Americans unemployed, underemployed, who have given up looking for work, and a message to Cutter and Carney. Folks, there are some facts that even you have got to acknowledge simply can't be spun. And by the way, if you want a little help, I'll be glad to send you a little picture here of the blackboard and help you through it.